And then, the obvious thing here on top of, the hurricanes and all the craziness that's been going on, and the tragedy is another shooting, another mass shooting in the state of Texas. Guys, your thoughts?
Well, this one really, really saddened me. I mean, they're all bad, but this one's horrific. The fact that you can get into a church, kill 20 people, wound 26 others, the fact that this is still going on, the fact there's no limits as far as gun control or anything. I mean, all you see is all our prayers and our thoughts and our condolences. How many times do we have to say that before we actually
buddy, if you take a look at the loophole,
they're not happening anymore.
Forget about the gun control. You can, if you have a gun, you can sell it to me. And I could be a crazy person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people selling guns to friends, neighbors, right? And that's a major loophole, and it's never been touched. And the bizarre thing is, the President of the United States of America, the day of hours after the craziness in New York and Manhattan, where he drove a rented truck to a crowd, a rented truck from Home Depot into a crowd, and murdering 9 people, the president was boisterous, said death penalty, right away. And on this incredible domestic, I call it domestic terrorism, right? A guy goes, snaps and creates mass murders, and he should have never had a gun in the first place. And now that's being investigated because the military forgot to send it through. So he went and bought, and the other thing that's really confusing, and I'm rambling on, is you're not allowed to buy an automatic weapon, but you're allowed to buy an apparatus that converts your weapon into an automatic weapon. How the fuck?
The guy actually escaped a mental health facility. So obviously someone with this kind of mental deficiencies has no business having a gun. It's just so sad.
But Trump will not say that, and Trump will not go up against putting, or any politician, even Ryan. They will not. All they're asking, and I believe that the press and moderates, all they're asking is not to destroy the Second Amendment, but to make it. There's rules. Everybody wants a car. There's rules. You got to go get a fucking driver's license.
Yeah. Well, and you know what, Frank? They said that Trump said that from Japan. We haven't got a gun problem, which is what you were talking about. He's hiding
he's got
a mental health problem, and he's right.
The guy who stopped the extra vetting and the 5 or 10 day or whatever. I don't know the exact chronological time. When you go in to get a gun for them to do the research, he opposed it. There should be, just like he wants to vet people coming into the United States so they don't do any damage or create any terrorism or hurt any of the American citizens, they should do that. Do you know that the United States of America, per capita, has more guns than any country in the fucking world? In the world.
Well, this guy who did what he did at the church also made death threats against a military chain of command. So it's amazing that someone who is obviously as unstable as this has the ability to be able to have a gun, be able to go into a church with that kind of weapon. I mean, I don't even know how this is possible in our society.
I don't even know how anybody can rationalize after an incredible evil tragedy that people saying they're being strong and they're rallying. How's anybody? I've heard some of the interviews, and it's just unbelievably heartbreaking. It's the emotion, and how can you somebody survive from that, seeing their loved one getting murdered right in front of them? Like, how is that ever going to be healed? What I'm trying to say is there needs to be an extreme amount of vetting, and you see, I hear these politicians and they say Chicago's got some of the tough laws, and people are still getting killed by guns. It doesn't fucking matter. The gun laws in Illinois are very strong. The gun laws in New York State are very strong. But then they go one state over. And
Yeah,
you can get a gun.
the word that comes up is just so sad. This guy, I mean, complete families were wiped out. He's going aisle to aisle or pew to pew looking for kids to shoot. Every mother effer dies. He got an 18-month-old
So
kid.
anyways, going back
This
to
is so sad.
In Chicago,
Just
you have
unbelievably
very strong
unparalleled
gun
sad.
laws. Or in New York State, you have very stringent gun laws. They mean nothing because you can go across to another state, where in the state of Texas or in the state of Georgia, or where there's they have all of these off the highway gun flea markets, these big gun sales, right? It's not a big deal. So those guns come back. You're not going over the border when you're buying. If you're bringing guns back to Illinois, you're not going through security. You're not going through border control. You can bring whatever you want. You can load up to the yin yangs and go buy guns, and that's what's going on. So unless there is a nationalistic, a federal government law, this will never. I think this is going to permeate to even more danger and more craziness.